going on, everybody? Guess what happened to the Niner on our little off-road adventure? I've been having problems with this side of the car for a while now. This really did it. Everything broke. So to start off, my emergency brakes both just got demolished. As you can see that. My ABS sensor, this was a brand new sensor I replaced, is completely gone. Here are the pieces. And my rotor is completely warped on the inside. So I don't believe that this was the cause. This was caused by me going off-road. So I want to know what you guys think. What would cause my emergency brakes to go out, my sensor to break, and my rotor to be warped? I'm really curious as to what have caused this, but I'm gonna go ahead and take off the rear wheel bearings. And to do that, we need to remove the rear diff cover, rotate it to where I can access the C-clips on this, and then pull them out. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Alright guys, so the first thing we're gonna do is take off all of these bolts around the differential cover. Don't forget to keep your tags. Mine has one over here. And on this side, I just have a bucket here that fits in there. Be careful when you're doing this. Make sure you have jack stands and everything. But let's go ahead and get started with that. Here we have your identifier tag right here. This is going to tell you if you have a limited slip or not. This one does. Use limited slip. I've already done this before, so I know that it's sealed up really good. Now this thing is on here good. There it is, guys. Opening up the diff. It looks good. The fluid doesn't look that dirty. Alright, I have a couple of tags here. If your Jeep hasn't been too modified, it should still have these two tags on the rear diff if it's the Niner. One way to tell if you have a limited slip is you want to look at these letters right here. LS, limited slip. It should have all those numbers, and then the 373 gears on this side right here. In addition to that, it's going to have this little tag that says use limited slip diff lube. So that's how you know whether or not you have a rear limited slip on your car. On the Niners, all of them came with the limited slip, but in the chance that it got replaced, you can check for the tags. There's a couple other ways to figure out whether or not you have a limited slip, but you know, on a car that hasn't been too heavily modified, this is one for sure way. Another way is you lift the car up in the air, both rear wheels in the air. You put it in neutral on your gear selector and on your transfer case selector, and you rotate one wheel. So let's say you rotate the wheel clockwise, the other side should rotate clockwise as well. That's how you know you have a LSD on the rear. So here's a rear cover. There is some flake on there. I'm not sure if I should be concerned about that. As you can see right there, there's quite a bit of flake. No big chunks. I'm not sure if I should be concerned or not with that. You know, is that common to have a little bit of flake when you change your diff fluid or what? You guys let me know. Okay, one quick note on the Quadra-Track four-wheel drive system. Save yourself a headache and lift all four wheels up in the air. Otherwise, you won't be able to access this little bolt right there. The rear diff is not going to spin unless all four wheels are in the air. I didn't know that. So now I'm going to remove this bolt and push out the rear wheel bearing. Now this comes out. Bearings look good in here. Alright, now that we got the rear wheel bearing off, I'm gonna take off this cover and inspect and kind of try to figure out what went wrong with this whole system here, the whole assembly. So once I'm done with that, I'm gonna show you guys what I find. Alright, so I came to the conclusion that everything here is as it should be. I'm just gonna grease up the bearing here. My boot on this brake caliper is ripped. I'm gonna get new brake calipers while I'm back here. I'm just gonna check the other side and make sure that everything is good over here. I'm gonna grease the bearings inside here, leave everything prepped, ready to go for when my parts come in. But this side is really good, nothing wrong with this side. All right, y'all, so I got everything cleaned up. I covered up the differential because it's gonna be here for a bit. So I have that all covered up in case the parts take a while to arrive, but I have my differential cover here cleaned up. All the bolts are right there. I like to keep track of everything. This is the pin for the locking of the bearings. And when you're doing anything on the differential, keep everything really organized. So I have the clip for the left side on the left side, and the clip for the right side here. Here's the bad wheel bearing. This gear right here is for your ABS. So if you can take a look here, it's all worn, and this one's all nice. So without this, I think that this is the reason why I have my ABS light on. But I'm gonna buy one of these. I'm also gonna get the brake calipers for both sides, brakes and rotors for all 4 corners, and I think that's gonna do it. So once I get that all installed, I'll come back and show you guys and let you know if there's any other issues. But that should do for today's video. Thank you once again. See you guys on the next one.